Hello out there to you. In this video, we're going to take this payoff matrix, usually used for a simultaneous play game, and turn it into a decision tree, which we would do that for a sequential game. And what that means is that one player gets to choose first. So there's lots of videos on how to get the Nash equilibrium if they're picking at the same time, so I won't even solve that, but we're going to do two different versions of this where the first one is player one gets to choose first, and then the second one will have player two choosing first. So what you want to do is you want to write player one gets to choose first, and then you consider their three strategies. And the three strategies that player one could take are A1, B1, and C1. And then player two gets to respond here, player two, and they get to respond with their three strategies. So you're going to draw three fingers off of that. Maybe I should go up here a little bit more. There we go. Give us a little more space. And then two. There we go. So they're just kind of like fingers off of the branches off of the tree. We could call it that. Okay, so for player two, their strategies or responses are A2, B2, and C2. And then again, you're just going to write it again. A2, B2, C2, A2, B2, C2. Okay, now we want to write the payouts. And so the payouts are going to be written just as you did on the simultaneous game, where the first player's payout is the first number and the second player's payout is the second number. So the first result here is A1 and A2. That's this box right here. So that would be 14, 4. Okay. Then the next box would be A1, and it's this set of payouts right here. So 8 for player 1, 4 for player 2. And then over here, A1 and C2, which is this set of payouts here, 2 and 5. Okay, we're going to do the same thing now. Player 2, or player 1 rather, is choosing B. So how does player 2 respond? If they respond with A2, we're in this set of payouts. So it'd be 0, 9. And then we come over here. This would be 9, 0. Then this would be 3, 9. You can have these typed, and you can redo this or whatever, however you want. Okay, so then we're done. Come down here. This is player 1 choosing C first, and this would be 5, 2. Same process. 7, 3, and 4, 4. Okay. So now we're done. This is a sequential play game. Player 1 gets to play first. So what we'll do is we'll use backwards induction to solve for the Nash equilibrium. So I'm going to do that with player 2 being the blue player here. And so if player 1 chooses A1, how is player 2 going to respond? Okay, and player 2 is going to respond by choosing this. You could circle it, you could underline it, you could highlight it, whatever. 5 is the best outcome up here. Then down here, player 2 would be kind of indifferent to choosing this or this. They probably want to entice player 1 to do this. This would probably be better, but they're indifferent between those two. And then coming down here, 2, 3, or 4. 4 is best. So there we have that. Okay, so player 1 then is going to basically discount this option, these outcomes, all of these outcomes. And they're just looking at what's going to happen. So they can say, if I choose A1, I could get 2. If I choose B1, I'll either end up with 0 or 3. It's kind of out of my hands, right? Or I could come down here and get 4. Well, 4 is the best. So this is it. And so the path of this game would be player 1 chooses C1 and player 2 chooses C2. So we end up down there. Now, would the result be the same if player 2 got to pick first? So we're done with player 1 being the first decider here. Let's go now to player 2. And so I want to erase all of these. I'm not going to redraw. Oh, that was the end of my undo tool. So we're just going to erase all of this. Okay, now this is not player 1 anymore. Oh, well, let's just erase all of this. We can redo that, no problem. Now player 2 gets to choose first. So you're going to follow the same process here. Well, let's see if it makes a difference if player 2 gets to choose first. This was our sequential from player 1 choosing first. Okay, so now player 2 gets to choose first. Player 1's up here. This is A2, B2, and C2. And then down here, this is player 1, A1, A2, no, A1, B1, C1, A1, B1, and C1, A1, B1, and C1. Okay, so now player 2 chooses A2, and then, you know, I think these payouts are going to be, oh, not quite. So we're looking like vertical, okay? Whoops, why would I put 42? It's just a 4, okay. And then 0 and 9, 5 and 2. Okay, so this is player 2 choosing A2 and player 1 choosing C1. Okay, well, let's just do the rest of this here. This is 8, 4, 9, 0, 7, 3, and then down here, 2, 5, 3, 9, and 4, 4. Okay, let's quickly solve this. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so player 2 is trying to decide what's best for them if they're up here. I'm sorry, player 1 rather. Player 1 is always going to pick this. This is 14. That's the best outcome for them. Player 1 is going to choose the 9, choose the B1 to get the 9, and then coming down here, they're going to choose this. Okay, and then so that means that player 2 knows this is off the table, this is off the table, this is off the table, this is off. You don't have to really do that part, but whatever. Okay, so player 2, they could choose this and get 4. They could choose this and get 0. They could choose this and get 4. Well, they're kind of indifferent, actually. If they like player 1, they would choose A1. They would choose A2, and then player 1 would respond there. That's the best they do. Or if they don't like them and they know this, they could punish them and have them get the same. And that's how to turn this payoff matrix into a decision tree with 2 different deciders.